Jeff Mayweather, a well-respected figure in the boxing community, has voiced strong doubts about the fairness of this matchup. He highlights the significant size and weight gap between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, emphasizing that boxing weight classes exist to ensure safety and competitive balance. According to Jeff, Jake's naturally bigger build grants him a clear physical edge that skill alone can't neutralize. While Davis's talent is undeniable, Mayweather sees the bout as a dangerous mismatch that risks damaging the sport's integrity. In his view, this fight isn't just about two fighters. It's a reflection of how far boxing is willing to compromise its principles in pursuit of spectacle and profit.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank, and but with it being a exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting, but it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why the fight is happening.
Carl Froch, never one to hold back his thoughts, was brutally honest about Jake Paul's latest choice of opponent. He accused Jake of deliberately targeting smaller fighters to preserve his physical advantage, calling it a calculated move rather than a courageous one. Froch criticized Jake for avoiding naturally bigger opponents like Anthony Joshua or legitimate heavyweights, choosing instead to face Gervonta Davis, a man several weight classes lighter. To Froch, this decision exposes Jake's true intentions, chasing viral moments instead of real competition. His remarks echo the frustration of many boxing purists who feel the sport's values are being eroded by celebrity-driven spectacles. In Froch's eyes, it's a sign that modern boxing is dangerously close to valuing fame and profit over honor and fairness.
Supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode. But I hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Daniel Cormier, respected for his sharp perspective across combat sports, didn't hold back his criticism of the upcoming fight. He argued that the matchup lacks genuine competitiveness and seems destined for a predictable result. Cormier pointed out that Jake Paul's significant size advantage overshadows any real intrigue, making it hard for true fans to view the bout as legitimate. He emphasized that the weight disparity goes beyond appearance. It impacts endurance, punch resistance, and overall safety. While the event may draw attention, Cormier believes it offers little true sporting value. He warned that prioritizing spectacle over substance risks eroding boxing's integrity, echoing the growing concern among fighters who see the sport's traditions being sacrificed for fleeting fame.
Wait, I thought it was 190. Dean, that's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him. Yes. He recognizes that he's too big for him.
I'm wondering how this even came about. It can't be that Gervonta Davis needs money. That can't be the reason why
he's been a world champion so recently. How could he be broke?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he doing this for money? And then why? And how is even Jake Paul doing this when no one respects it? Like, I can't think of anybody that respects this.
But Jake Paul has been able to carve out and make his own lane in boxing, and I've never seen anything like it, bro. He literally, we don't know what weight class he fights in any situation. We just don't know. He kind of makes his own rules.
He makes his own rules.
And it seems like people are playing by those rules. I remember a couple weeks ago, the WBC and the Jose Sulaiman was very upset that he wasn't going to be able to put the belt on the winner at Canelo versus Crawford. That's the thing that's happened since the beginning of the time. Those guys are very powerful in boxing. But with Zuffa boxing, it was almost like that power was getting stripped away. They were very disappointed. But how can you take those sanctioning organizations seriously when they are sanctioning this?
That's my point. That's my point. That's why I think that this whole thing that we have, this boxing and this MMA argument and Zuffa getting into boxing, our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the sport.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I talked about this before. Like, I didn't know why they were fighting because, I mean, Gervonta Davis's last fight was at 136 pounds.
Observers have noted that, despite widespread criticism, the fight still serves multiple purposes within the boxing industry. Promoters, broadcasters, and even rival fighters all profit from the storm of attention surrounding such a polarizing matchup. The controversy itself becomes a marketing engine, driving views, headlines, and revenue. Ironically, the same voices condemning the event also amplified exposure by constantly debating it. This dynamic reveals how modern boxing now thrives as much on outrage as on athletic excellence. Every argument fuels publicity. Every insult boosts interest, turning what many call a mockery into the very force that keeps the sport financially alive and culturally relevant.
Criticism for fighting Jake Paul, but yet at the same time, he is going to fight Jake Paul. Now, what I find interesting is how people on one hand are going to criticize it, but on the other hand, try to take advantage of it for their own profit. So Shakur Stevenson, definitely for press purposes, definitely for publicity purposes, offers to get in the training camp and spar for Jake Paul. Spar Jake Paul for the tank fight. Now, why would he be doing this? It's called copycat crap. Because the last big fight that took place, which was Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, guess what happened? Jaron Ennis went and sparred Canelo Alvarez to help Canelo Alvarez prepare for Terrence Crawford. So, do I think that is coincidental? No, I do not. I think that it is trying to have your cake and eat it too. You are trying to complain and say Gervonta Davis is not a real competitive fighter, that this is a sideshow, freak show fight, but yet you want your name associated with it and you want to participate in it for your own good gain. Let me assure you that when Terrence Crawford said in an interview that he wouldn't fight Jake Paul, that's not a serious fight. And then they said, well, would you fight Jake Paul for $200 million? And he said, I'd be fighting Jake Paul.
The broader conversation surrounding this fight goes far beyond the question of who wins. It's about what the event truly represents. Many see it as a symbol of boxing's shifting boundaries between pure sport and entertainment. Jake Paul's ascent has shown that fame can outweigh traditional merit, while Gervonta Davis's participation proves that even world-class fighters aren't immune to the allure of spectacle. Critics argue that such matchups dilute the sport's essence, reducing it to a form of show business rather than genuine competition. Supporters, on the other hand, claim it's simply boxing's evolution, a necessary adaptation to stay relevant in a social media-driven era. Ultimately, this fight forces the sport to face a tough question. Is boxing still a test of discipline, skill, and legacy, or has it become an industry where popularity determines opportunity?
£95, bearing in mind Tank Davis fights at 135. That's £60 size difference. And Tank often weighs in light at 133.5 pounds. You know, he's 5'5". He's not a big guy. Okay, let's be honest, he's tiny. I could literally put him in my pocket. You know, he's a pocket rocket, but he's small. Yes, I know, I went too far. Let's move on. Jake's been fighting a cruiserweight, over 200 pounds. You know, he's 6'1". He's just a bigger guy. You know, a different beast. This is what Jake does. Love or hate him, he knows how to generate interest, get people talking. In his words, do the unthinkable. But guess what? People will tune in. What can I say? The guy's clever. He calls out AJ. The fight's looking likely. Everybody's outraged. Can't believe it. Then bang. He's fighting Tank. The man's half the size. He's done it again. Whether you like it or not, he's a marketing genius. He knows how to keep his name on your tongue. Everyone slated him for fighting Mike Tyson. I did too. He was fighting an old man with health problems. But guess what? I tuned in. And do you know why? Because curiosity killed the cat. And I wasn't alone. 100 million plus people tuned in.
That wraps up today's video.